unedited, tell the truth, and shame the devil. I love being black. All right, people. All right, people, you know what time it is. Today is Martin Luther King Jr. birthday, and we know that Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January the 15th, 1929. Come on. Come on in. Come on in. Martin Luther King Jr. meant hope, dignity, and a collective power to Black Americans, especially during a time when racism, segregation, and violence were enforced by law and custom. All right, come on in, come on in, come on in. As I always say, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Happy MLK Day, Martin Luther King Day. As you know, they made the holiday on the third Monday of each January. Even right now today, some don't even celebrate Martin Luther King birthday, some places, but that's okay. What Martin Luther King meant to Black America. He meant a lot to us, and as I say, if it wasn't for Martin Luther King and the Civil Rights Movement, we wouldn't been enjoying some of the fruits of our labor right now. And some strongly disagree with him, and that's okay. That's okay. But guess what? They are enjoying the fruits of his labor right now as I speak. Happy MLK Day, people. Real talk. Martin Luther King Jr. meant hope, dignity, and a collective power to Black Americans, especially during a time when racism, segregation, and violence were enforced by law and custom. Hear what he represented and why it matters so deeply. Come on in, people. I appreciate you guys tuning in today. And I'll be crazy not to mention nothing about Martin Luther King. I will be crazy not to mention him today. I need you guys to make sure you share this video, share it to someone, and we can celebrate Martin Luther King birthday together. And I got a series of his speeches that I want to bring forth today. And let us not forget, as the minister Louis Farrakhan says, never again, never again, never again, never again, never again. Come on in, people, come on in. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Listen, we have to preserve our history, and we should do that, and we should hold on our history. We should not let others tell us what we should forget, and they feel uncomfortable. Imagine how our ancestors, and a lot of you felt uncomfortable being treated the way you were being treated even right now today. Even right now today. Because I'm live, uncut, and unedited. Tune in right now. All right.
Has joined.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So come on in, people, come on in right now. Today is Martin Luther King birthday, and we want to talk about it. We want to talk about the history, people. Now, I don't want to talk about this I have a dream, you know. Now, come on now. Martin Luther King was more than a dream. He was more than a dream, people. More than a dream. Real talk. He was way more than a dream. Now, we're going to show a series of videos, and we can respond to them. I don't mind doing that. Now, those of you know Martin Luther King was born January the 15th, 1929. That's no secret. All right. Those of you know that Martin Luther King Jr. holiday is observed on the third Monday of January of each year. It's not always on the 15th. So let's get that clear, people. Let's get that clear. Let's get that clear. Now we're going to talk about some facts. Now we're going to talk about Martin Luther King, and we're going to talk about some things that some of you deem to be uncomfortable, but that's all right. The truth must carry on. And let me start over with my little speech I got for you guys. Martin Luther King Jr. meant hope, dignity, and a collective power to Black Americans, especially during a time when racism, segregation, and violence were enforced by the law and custom. Here's what he represented and why it matters so deeply. A voice for a voiceless. That's what I want to talk about, people. A voice for the voices. Dr. King gave national and global voice to everyday Black people who were being ignored, which is true, abused, and silenced. He spoke plainly about injustice in a way that forced Americans to listen. Come on, follow me now. Now we're talking about dignity in the face of oppression. And you know, that's still going on right now today. He taught that Black people were worthy of respect, not because of approval from others, but because of their inherited humanity. This was a revolutionary in a society built on dehumanization. That's what it was. Now, he did it through non-violence power. That's the way he did it. Let's talk about it. King showed that non-violence was not weakness, as some of you may consider that, but moral and strategy strength. Through marches, boycotts, and civil disobedience, Black communities gained real political and legal victories through this. Now, tangible changes we had. We're going to go through them. His leadership helped bring the Civil Rights Act of 1964, that we can deny. The Voting Rights Act of 1965, we can't deny that. These laws directly expanded freedom, safety, political power for Black Americans. And we know they're trying to take that away right now today in 2026. Unity and moral clarity. He framed the Black freedom struggle as a moral issue, not just a racial one, calling on Americans to live up to its own promises of justice and equality. Y'all know that's real. Now, a dream beyond survival. That's where we're going at. King pushed the conversation beyond just ending brutality or segregation. He spoke of economic justice, fair housing, education, and peace, insisting that the true freedom requires more than just rights. Why it still matters. For many Black Americans today, Dr. King represents the possibility of change without losing one's soul. Courage to comfort power. A reminder that progress comes from organized people and not patience. I like that. In short, Martin Luther King Jr. helped Black Americans believe that they deserve more and showed them how to demand it. Now, I can't make that more clear, plain clearer than that. And we're going to show a couple of videos and that this is Martin Luther King I know right here, y'all. This is Martin Luther King I know.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest. which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington,
what we gonna do?
In this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
And see, that's the Martin Luther King that I'm talking about. That's the king that I'm talking about. Now, all this, I have a dream, and that's a wonderful speech. But let's get down to the real economics. See, they love telling black Americans, African Americans, what we need to do. And they've been given a handout. Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy. The brother broke it down. How America gave white farmers all this money and brought people in to train them and pay them not to farm. Now, don't that sound like the immigrants a little bit, people? They bringing them over here and giving them all that money. But black folks that's born here, that are citizens here, we don't get nothing. See, it's still going on, people. And see, that's why we should never allow no other race of people to wrap themselves up in our pain. None of them. None of them have endured what we have endured in this country. In this country. We were the ones who were told to go to the back of the bus. We were the ones who was told not to come into the restaurant. We were the ones who was told white drinking water fountains only. We were not, nobody else but us. Nobody but us. And that was just what, almost 60 years ago. I was born in 68. I'm 57. I'll be 58 this year. Not even 60 years ago. It was gone. We can't forget, people. Young people, don't you ever let nobody ever tell you to forget your history and the civil rights movement. The civil rights movement meant a lot to black folks. And if we ain't careful, we'll let them go back on their promises. We got to hold our foot to the fire. And he did it through a nonviolent way. Now, some of us, we wasn't with all that peaceful demonstration. I just got to tell the truth. Some of us was more like, you hit me, I'm going to hit you back. Malcolm X. And I ain't mad at nobody. And I believe they had the same goal. One was, one believed in self-defense, and the other used a strategy of nonviolence just to get the attention of the whole world. Now, don't forget, we got the Civil Rights Act in 1964. We got the Voting Rights Act in 1965. We didn't get that just sitting down and being quiet. We didn't get that. That didn't happen, or being patient. We had to fight for that. Some of our congregations, religious institutions got bombed. Some of us got lynched. Some of us got beat up. Some of us lost their lives. I'm sorry. Now, this is a pathway to freedom on a lot of things. Got to talk about it. We're going to bring up another short video. They're not going to be long, and I want to talk about some things. And let me, this is for my immigrant family. I hope you're listening. Listen to this. Listen to this, immigrant
We're going
friend.
to achieve our freedom because however much America strays away from the ideals of justice, the goal of America is freedom. Abused and scorned though we may be, our destiny is tied up in the destiny of America. Before the Pilgrim Fathers landed at Plymouth, we were here. Before Jefferson etched across the pages of history the majestic words of the Declaration of Independence, we were here. Before the beautiful words of the Star-Spangled Banner were written, we were here. For more than 2 centuries, our forebears labored here without wages. They made cotton king. They built the homes of their masters in the midst of the most humiliating and oppressive conditions. And yet out of a bottomless vitality, they continue to grow and develop. And I say that if the inexpressible cruelties of slavery couldn't stop us, the opposition that we now face, including the so-called white backlash, will surely fail.
Now, that's to our immigrants. I want to play that one more time so they can hear.
I think we're going to achieve our
This
freedom.
is talking about black achievement in this country.
Much America strays away from the ideals of justice. The goal of America is freedom.
Freedom.
Abused and scorned though we may be, our destiny is tied up in the destiny of America. Before the Pilgrim Fathers landed at Plymouth, we were here. Before Jefferson etched across the pages of history the majestic words of the Declaration of Independence, we were here. Before the beautiful words of the Star-Spangled Banner were written, we were here. And for more than 2 centuries, our forebears labored here without wages. They made cotton king. They built the homes of their masters in the midst of the most humiliating and oppressive conditions, and yet out of a bottomless vitality, they continue to grow and develop. And I say that if the inexpressible cruelties of slavery, I think we're going to achieve our freedom.
I can't help it, people.
However much America strays away from the ideals of justice, the goal of America is freedom. Abused and scorned though we may be,
I got to hear this for my immigrant family.
Our destiny is tied up in the destiny of America.
This is how you fight.
Before the Pilgrim Fathers landed at Plymouth,
this is how you fight.
Before Jefferson etched across the pages of history the majestic
we have the blueprint.
The Declaration of Independence, we were here. Before the beautiful words of the Star-Spangled Banner were written, we were here. And for more than 2 centuries, our forebears labored here without wages. They made cotton king. They built the homes of their masters in the midst of the most humiliating and oppressive conditions. And yet out of a bottomless vitality, they continue to grow and develop. And I say that if the inexpressible cruelties of slavery couldn't stop us, the opposition that we now face, including the so-called white backlash, will surely fail.
Now, as I said earlier, King pushed the conversation beyond just ending brutality or segregation. He spoke of economic justice, fair housing, education, and peace, insisting that the true freedom requires more than legal rights. This is a real fight, black young folks. Young folks, a lot of y'all, the king that y'all know is the one, I Have a Dream. That's the king that you know. You don't know nothing else about, but he had a dream. It's more than a dream, people. More than a dream. More than a dream. More than a dream. The king that I know. That's the king that I know. I got another one for you guys. When he came to Chicago. Here is it when he came to Chicago.
We must see that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are all caught in an inescapable network of mutuality. And so we must all be concerned about poverty. The individuals giving themselves to negative ends, have used time much more effectively than the people committed to positive ends. And it may well be that we will have to repent in this generation, not merely for the vitriolic words and the violent actions of the bad people who will bomb a church in Birmingham, Alabama, but for the appalling silence and indifference of the good people who sit around saying, wait on time.
Uh-huh.
No, not next year, not 50 years from now. Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time to cure the cancer of racial segregation. Now is the time to get rid of the slums and ghettos of Chicago. Now is the time to make justice a reality all over this nation. Now is the time.
Ain't this familiar, people? Now, we notice a lot. They always tell us to wait. Even when Obama got into the office, they told us to wait. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. They love telling us to wait. They love telling us to wait. And it's sickening. We talking about the time is now. Now, foreigners, illegal aliens, immigrants, unauthorized, undocumented, this is how you fight. This is how you fight. That's how you fight right here. We showing you how to fight. Don't try to take our plight and wrap yourself in and comparing the police as a slave catcher with to ICE. That's an insult to the black community. That's an insult to us. That is an insult to us. That is an insult to us. And even black folks that's out here claiming that. That's an insult to our struggle in this country, and we're still struggling. That's an insult. We're going to go to some more video. Got more. This is another series.
What is it about the Negro?
Listen.
I mean, every other group that came as an immigrant somehow, not easily, but somehow got around it. Is it just the fact that Negroes are black?
White America must see that no other ethnic group has been a slave on American soil.
Preach.
That is one thing that other immigrant groups haven't had to face. The other thing is that the color became a stigma. American society made the Negro's color a stigma. America freed the slaves in 1863 through the Emancipation Proclamation of Abraham Lincoln, but gave the slaves no land, or nothing in reality, and as a matter of fact, to get started on. At the same time, America was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that there was a willingness to give the white peasants from Europe an economic base. And yet it refused to give its black peasants from Africa, who came here involuntarily in chains and had worked free for 244 years, any kind of economic base. And so emancipation for the Negro was really freedom to hunger. It was freedom to the winds and rains of heaven. It was freedom without food to eat or land to cultivate, and therefore it was freedom and famine at the same time. And when white Americans tell the Negro to lift himself by his own bootstraps, they don't look over the legacy of slavery and segregation. I believe we ought to do all we can and seek to lift ourselves by our own bootstraps, but it's a cruel jest to say to a bootless man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And many Negroes, by the thousands and millions, have been left bootless as a result of all of these years of oppression and as a result of a society that deliberately made his color a stigma and something worthless and degrading.
Now, did y'all hear that? We're going to play this one more time. I need you young folks that don't read, folks that don't study, that's too lazy to study, folks that can read but won't read. Listen to this real closely. Listen. Just listen, people. Listen.
What is it about the Negro? I mean, every other group that came as an immigrant somehow, not easily, but somehow got around it. Is it just the fact that Negroes are black?
White America must see that no other ethnic group has been a slave on American soil. That is one thing that other immigrant groups haven't had to face. The other thing is that the color became a stigma. American society made the Negro's color a stigma. America freed the slaves in 1863 through the Emancipation Proclamation of Abraham Lincoln, but gave the slaves no land or nothing in reality, and as a matter of fact, to get started on. At the same time, America was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that there was a willingness to give the white peasants from Europe an economic base. And yet it refused to give its black peasants from Africa, who came here involuntarily in chains and had worked free for 244 years, any kind of economic base. And so emancipation for the Negro was really freedom to hunger. It was freedom to the winds and rains of heaven. It was freedom without food to eat or land to cultivate, and therefore it was freedom and famine at the same time. And when white Americans tell the Negro to lift himself by his own bootstraps, they don't look over the legacy of slavery and segregation. I believe we ought to do all we can and seek to lift ourselves by our own bootstraps, but it's a cruel jest to say to a bootless man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And many Negroes, by the thousands and millions, have been left bootless as a result of all of these years of oppression and as a result of a society that deliberately made his color a stigma and something worthless and degrading.
See, this is what I'm talking about, people. This is exactly what I'm talking about. See, I hope these immigrants are watching this. They need to know this. But see, they really don't care about this. Only time they care about this is when the oppressor, the white man, is getting on their backside trying to deport them. Now, all of a sudden, they want to wrap themselves up in our pain and all that. You can't compare the two. You can't compare it at all. You cannot compare the two. The LGBTQ2, you can't compare this to us either. And I'm tired of other black folks trying to compare this. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. You tell that to them folks that don't read and don't know history. That's who you tell that to, because it ain't going to happen over here. For real. We got a few more.
I think we're going to achieve our freedom because however much America strays away from the ideals of justice, the goal of America is freedom. Abused and scorned though we may be, our destiny is tied up in the destiny of America. Before the Pilgrim Fathers landed at Plymouth, we were here. Before Jefferson etched across the pages of history the majestic words of the Declaration of Independence, we were here. Before the beautiful words of the Star-Spangled Banner were written, we were here. And for more than 2 centuries, our forebears labored here without wages. They made cotton king. They built the homes of their masters in the midst of the most humiliating
we said
and oppressive
this
conditions.
early.
And yet out of a bottomless vitality, they continue to grow and develop. And I say that if the inexpressible cruelties of slavery couldn't stop us, the opposition that we now face, including the so-called white backlash, will surely fail.
All right, this is what we believe. This is what we know to be fact. This is how you fight, immigrants. This is how you fight. Now here go King in his one of his speeches. I think it was on the March on Washington. I'm sorry. Just a little bit of it.
We're on the
Just a little-
move now. Yes, sir. Like an idea whose time has come.
Yes, sir.
Not even the marching of mighty armies can halt us.
Yes, sir.
We're moving to the land of freedom.
Yes, sir.
I know you're asking today, how long will it take? Somebody's asking, how long will prejudice blind the visions of men? I come to say to you this afternoon, however difficult the moment, Yes, sir. However frustrating the hour, it will not be long, because truth crushed earth
Yes, sir.
will rise again. Yes, sir. How long? Not long. Because no lie can live forever. Yes, sir. How long? Not long. Because you shall reap what you sow. How long? Not long. How long? Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yet that scaffold sways the future. Behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadow, keeping watch above his own. How long? Not long. Because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. How long? Not long. Because mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He's trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He's loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. He has sounded forth the trumpet that shall never call retreat. He is sifting out the hearts of men before his judgment seat. Oh, be swift, my soul, to answer him. Be jubilant, my feet. Our God is marching on. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on.
My. Man, if you didn't feel that, if you didn't listen to this, y'all. Let's get a little bit more of
out
that.
the hearts of men before his judgment seat. Oh, be swift, my soul, to answer him. Be jubilant, my feet. Our God is marching on. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on.
Oh, it's going to be. Listen, people, I appreciate you. We got a couple of callers. We got 214. I hope we don't come here and try to dismantle this show here. We ain't going to have it today. 214. Come on, caller. We're not going to have it today. We're not going to have it.
What?
Come on, 214. Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. They gonna go when they can't do that. Yeah, what'd you say?
I said we ain't gonna have what you did yesterday, bro. We made the whole show about you, man. And it's got a distraction.
No, we didn't.
Yes, it was, man. You know,
that dude called me a name, and I defended myself.
Yeah.
And you're gonna accuse me?
No, I'm not.
doing
Hold on.
wrong?
First of all, I'm not even talking about that dude. Okay, I'm talking about that 81-year-old lady, brother. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we got to stand down.
Okay.
We got to stand down and submit sometime. You know, I told you I'm gonna give you your show by yourself.
Man.
But what I'm gonna need from you, I'm gonna tell you what I need from you before I go. I'm gonna need your bio, and I'm gonna give you a link to come in so we can watch you talk. Since you the smartest one in the room, and you know a lot, we're gonna give you the flow. I'm gonna give you the flow. I'm gonna give you the flow. Okay. Now, what you want to talk about, brother? What? Go ahead.
You one of the top Bible scholars I know, and you know that God in the Bible says women submit to men. It doesn't say men submit to women.
Mm-hmm.
And there's white America and no other country. There's 202 countries on the face of the planet Earth. None of them have a female general.
Okay.
We're supposed to be the head. There's women don't fight in the military. They don't fight.
Okay.
I've been a frontline soldier for 30 years.
Okay, hold it
in
right.
the Black liberation struggle.
Okay, hold it right there. Hold it right there. What I want to do.
Me.
Okay, just hold it right there.
Me hold it.
Yeah. I need you to hold it.
Yes, sir.
Tell me. This is what I want to know from you. I want to stay on my subject that I want to talk about this evening. What Martin Luther King meant to blacks here in America. That's what I want to talk about right now. So let's talk about that.
Yes, sir.
In your own words.
Sir.
In your own words. While you talking,
I will.
Okay, go ahead. Tell us what Martin Luther King meant to you.
Martin Luther King was a great freedom fighter, and he sacrificed his life, and that he should receive credit for sacrificing his life, giving his life to the struggle. But what people fail to realize in their research, Martin Luther King was at a party, and Martin Luther King went to jail over 200 times in the struggle. 200 times. So we give him credit for sacrificing his life and his time in the struggle. Martin Luther King was at a party. Martin Luther King was at a party one time, and he was looking down in the dumps and depressed. Harry Belafonte of that time, one of the top black entertainers, came up to Martin Luther King, and he asked Martin, "Why are you so down? What's wrong with you, brother?" And he told Harry Belafonte, "Harry, I believe I just integrated black people into a burning building." Martin Luther King admitted that his tactic and technique was a mistake, and he made his nonviolence was a mistake. We didn't see Trump use nonviolence in Venezuela and Somalia. He doesn't use nonviolence. Revolution comes from revelation, and revolution requires the shedding of blood. Just like when any and all babies come into the world, when that woman lies down on the delivery table, the first thing that comes out of her is a shot of blood. And that's how life is. You have to make a blood sacrifice in this life in order to make change. And see, white people will give you Martin Luther King Street, Martin Luther King Day, Martin Luther King speeches. Because why? Because your enemy is giving it to you. And is your enemy going to give you something that succeeds, or your enemy going to give you something that fails? Your enemy is going to give you something that fails. And the strategy of Martin Luther King was a failure. He admitted it.
Okay.
The other
hold it
boy,
right there. Hold it right there. Hold it right
yes, sir.
there. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
something
sir.
I
Yes,
read.
sir.
Something I read the other day. I mean, just earlier. King showed that nonviolence was not a weakness.
Yeah, because you ask questions that don't even make sense.
Okay. Hold it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But moral and strategy strength through marches, boycott. Somebody, I need everybody to put your phone on mute if I'm not talking to you. Okay. Through marches, boycotts, and civil disobedience, black communities gained real political and legal victories. Now, even though King said what he said to Harry Belafonte, he said that. But we did get some victories. We did get some victories, brother, that's which you and I enjoying right now today, 60 years later. Now, we did get some victories, brother.
Actually.
Actually what?
Actually, if we look at the crack epidemic of the 80s, the 90s with massive
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how you're gonna relate that to what I just said. How you gonna relate that to what I just said?
If you let me finish.
Come on with it.
Okay. The 70s was whites used the King ideology to integrate us, to say, oh, we're going to listen to King and integrate you guys. Okay, in the 70s, we had this economic castration where the jobs that black men had were all shipped overseas to destroy the black community. And that was the 70s. In the 80s, we had envenomation. We had the poison of the crack epidemic that we have never recovered from.
Okay.
The black community everywhere was hit with a nuclear bomb called crack cocaine, and we never recovered.
I want to interrupt you.
That's what integration.
Hold on.
Sir. Yes, sir.
I want to interrupt
Yes,
you.
sir.
And
Yes,
you,
sir.
I'm going to agree with you on that. But I'm gonna say this too.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna say this.
Yes,
Because
sir.
we got those victories back in the 60s with the civil rights movement, that don't mean that the oppressor, the enemy, the scripture says Satan come to kill, steal, and destroy. Everything that man, Dr. Martin Luther King, and the civil rights movement fought for. And also Malcolm X, also everybody had a plan. That didn't stop the enemy, brother, from fighting us. That didn't stop the enemy from putting guns in our community. That didn't stop the enemy for putting crack in our community. So this is something that we should learn. Those of us that's living right now, the enemy come to do three things: kill, steal, and destroy. That's the enemy.
Right. Yes,
and
sir.
when you see
Yes, sir.
when the enemy come against,
Exactly.
we do have an enemy. And I ain't talking about no GD, BD, Stone, or Vice Lord type of stuff, or Bloods and Crips. I'm talking about the real enemy. Kill, steal, and destroy. Go ahead, my brother.
Brother, you are absolutely 100% correct. But the problem is the integration strategy of King made us drop our defensive to where the enemy has completely destroyed and ruined us today. When King was walking, we had a 90% marriage rate.
Yes, we did. I agree.
Today we have a 90% divorce single mom rate. So integration, what did integration do? It destroyed us. Crack cocaine, like we said, it destroyed us. It created a war, World War III. What's World War III? The war between black males and black females. Finish the sentence for me.
No.
The mafia's plan is what? Keep your friends close, and what? Your enemies what? Your enemies closer. The integration strategy of King brought us closer to our enemies, because when your enemy is closer, you can slit his throat. You can slit his throat better. You can blow his brains out better. And so we've been completely destroyed we had black neighborhoods. We had something called black families and black neighborhoods back then. We don't have those. We don't have those anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
We used to have something called black families. Black families have been completely destroyed by integration. If you don't believe me, look up the word. Look up the word gentrification.
You have not said anything wrong. But let me just say this. Let me just say this. Okay. Let us move on to the next caller. I appreciate your call. You can hang around, as usual. Let me get to the next call. I got like about 1, 2, 3, 5 callers. Matter of fact, I got the young man that you guys got to screaming and cussing at each other yesterday. Come on, Bill. Come on, Bill.
Hey, family.
Hey, family. What's going on, Bill?
First, I want to start off by saying Martin Luther King is one of the greatest Americans that was ever born in history, man. Nobody, as far as I'm concerned, has fought the way that he did for black people. And nobody has mobilized the amount of people that he has for a good cause, for equality. Now, when I called, the first thing I was thinking somebody would bring up the Harry Belafonte situation, which is true to fact. But I believe when he made that statement, he's about bringing his people into a burning building. It wasn't just because of the integration.
Marcus.
He he realized the extent and the power that the enemy was going to use to their advantage. Everything that he did, we benefiting from it right now.
Yes, sir.
If it wasn't from Dr. Martin Luther King, there wouldn't be a Malcolm X. There wouldn't be a Louis Farrakhan. His groundwork
That's
made
not true.
pathways. Can I finish, bro?
No interruption,
Yes, sir.
please, sir.
Of course.
No interruption. Right.
His method, the nonviolent protest, was gut wrenching for us because it was happening to us, but it brought awareness. If, say, for instance, my statement of if it wasn't from Dr. Martin Luther King, there wouldn't be a Malcolm X or a Louis Farrakhan. At that time, if they would have been able to use, or Martin Luther King chose to use violence, they would have been met with the utmost violence right then and there at that particular time. His strategy of the nonviolence revealed the horrendous, uncaring hatefulness of white people. It was taped. Black people, all they did was just want their rights and were marching and had dogs sicked on them. They had been being killed for since slavery and Jim Crow, and they would have been met with that same violence of them. But it was on record that Black people was not doing anything but just wanting their rights. I believe that statement is to show that he recognized that, yeah, we getting a civil rights bill and all this stuff, but yet and still the enemy is going to still be attacking us at the level that they did then and even now. I agree with the brother and Martin, and it's been stated on the show. What came after Jim Crow, the crack epidemic and all the stuff, the redlining, all of that is factual, and it still happened. As far as the integration, if we stuck together, and you look historically, they burned and flooded every place, even up to modern times. Look at our ghettos. Look at our ghettos.
Integration.
If we stayed in one place, hold on. But in his demand for integration, which is our choice, we should have that choice. He didn't suggest that we go move around white people. He wanted us to have the right to. That don't mean we had to, but some of us, or our parents and grandparents that did integrate and move, it gave some more opportunities. Because we looking right now today, you look at Inglewood, Lawndale, there's no opportunities there. They were taken. But some of the people that, some of the people that integrated and moved to the suburbs or around white people, their kids had a better chance. To this day, they have a better chance. There's more jobs for them to go to. So with that being said, and I'm not going to be too long, the Nobel Peace Prize and anything else Dr. King received is very well deserved. One of the most underrated human beings that walked the face of this earth. And the other thing, small thing I want to mention at this time, we should celebrate him on this day and recognize and celebrate him on any other day. And it hurt my heart when I hear a Black person reach into, and nothing towards you, therapist, because you gave some good facts. But I hate when black people, not you, go picking and bring up stuff like he was a cheater, he did this, he was wrong.
Slander.
Well, yeah, slander him. When you don't see white people slandering Thomas Jefferson or George Washington or any other white American that have a holiday or have played a part in this horrendous plight that we and struggle that we have.
But brother,
I really disagree with that.
Big brother, let me ask you something.
No, hold it, therapist, hold it. We gotta go to the next caller.
Martin.
You'll get chances rebuttal. Let me get these people. You get a chance to do what you do. Let the brother say he spoke his truth. Okay, 0904. 0904. Come on, caller. 09.
Hey, Martin.
Hey, what Martin Luther King Jr. meant to you? Okay, go ahead. How you doing? Oh, that's Dr. Sanders. Hey, Doc. How you doing?
There you go.
I didn't know that was you.
Listen,
Okay.
well,
Hey, Dr. Sanders.
hey, how are you? Listen, today marks a history because this day in history, when it was being put in as being a holiday, we had a participation. Dr. Martin Luther King High School, my alma mater, we held it. Mother Coretta Scott King was there. Jesse Jackson was there. Glenn Jones was there. We took it to Medina Temple and the J.R. Thompson building. We were a part of that history where we saw it all. Smokey Robinson, the late Aretha Franklin, Jerry Iceman Butler, Stevie Wonder, they were here. And let me give you all some history here. Before Dr. Martin Luther King, let me help you all out. How Dr. Martin Luther King got where he got verbally came from a black man named Vernon Johns. Mm-hmm. Vernon Johns. He was his mentor.
And
he was his mentor because Vernon Johns was the minister at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. And they got fearless and nasty with him because he spoke the truth. John, he was an exquisite preacher, but a creative mind, and he was a fearless man. And one of the things that he did, he never allowed injustice to come to his attention without speaking against it. He taught Dr. King that. Look at it on YouTube. You see it. That is a remarkable story because when Dexter Avenue didn't like what he said, he's like, okay, so you all want to be suckers. Learn how to be entrepreneurs on your own and stop buying from everybody else. That's what Vernon Johns told her. His niece talked about that. And so that history, especially marking that a black man's, name like this, hey, I love it because my family came from Mississippi. They lived in that era of slavery. They lived in that era of the cotton. They did it. My great-grandmother, rest her soul, talked about it. I remember that as a little girl, and I still remember today. When we look at it, when I met Mother Coretta Scott King, it was such a blessing to be in her presence. His personal life, that's God's business. What he did was he helped us to understand the reality. Now, I'm not racist against people, but we still have not been given what we are supposed to have. Mm-hmm. Because it's always an
Tell
excuse.
The truth and shame
It's always
devil.
An excuse. So when we come together, they got to see the opposite, that we mean what we say. I had the pleasure, Martin knows, of sitting in Who Killed Malcolm X. My professor, Professor Abdul Rahman Muhammad, did a docuseries, which is still on Netflix. And there's a story between Martin Luther King and the late Malcolm X. I named my son after Malcolm X. A lot of folks don't really know the real story. Oh, he was anti-Semitic. No, he wasn't. You didn't know he came from a second family, did you? No, a lot of folks don't. Why? Because they were not in that era to understand. The class that my professor taught us opened up my eyes to how Malcolm X thinking was.
All right.
He was only doing the surface.
Doc, we want to stay on Martin Luther King now. I know you can't tell it all.
No, it's going into that. I'm going into that. That's what I'm trying to say, and I'm going to get off the phone. So my whole thing is, it took both of these men to have something, but Dr. King spoke it out clearly. Martin, I heard exactly what you said earlier. Malcolm said, knock the crap out of them. Yes, he did. And we'll shoot first and ask questions later. But Martin Luther King did it in another way that set the stage. But without someone else helping him, we might not even heard of Dr. Martin Luther King. Let's not forget that because it's one person, it's always an influence to help that other person. God bless you all.
Thank you,
I'm
Doctor.
out.
All right, let's go to, we got Be Red. Be Red, you're next. Be Red.
Happy Martin Luther King Day, Martin.
Yes, sir. Same to you.
Woo! Brother. I know that your partner that's calling me from 214, he live in my area. So I'm not going to disrespect the brother because a lot of stuff he was saying was correct. Let's do this in order. Civil rights movement was actually kicked off by the death of that young man in Mississippi. The boy that was from Chicago, Emmett Till. It was so egregious that black folks immediately start to protest. This is the years before you could go and burn down your neighborhood. I see white folks wasn't having that. In those days and times, let me tell you what Martin saw. If we had involved ourselves in an armed conflict with those people of that day, we'd have been slaughtered. And I'm talking about by the thousands. That deal where they were sicking dogs and water hoses on people, yeah, those would have been machine guns. We already know that they don't give a damn. Let me tell you what Martin saw. Martin not only was a pastor and a civil rights leader, Martin was also a prophet. And the last speech he gave, to me, was the most powerful speech he gave. Not the one about the burning house and all that. He knew that. He knew that the reason that he said that was because shortly after the things that we wanted got approved through Congress, they immediately started drafting young black men from 18 to 25 into the Vietnam War. They drafted 300,000 blacks to go to Vietnam, which we knew was a death sentence. We knew this. Martin was giving word that white soldiers were shooting black soldiers down in the field, shooting them in the back, killing them, and calling it KIA. They say only 8,500 black men died in Vietnam. That's a lie. It's probably closer to 40,000. But they hide that number because most of those folks got shot in the back and killed. Let me move on. By the time Martin got to Memphis, Tennessee, and I encourage any of you who can afford to take your teenagers, your young kids to Memphis, to the Lorraine Motel, to see it for yourself. It's like church when you get there, the place is quiet. You can still feel Martin's spirit sitting right there on that property. It'll take you about 3 hours to go through that museum. And my wife nearly cried through the whole museum. It's just that powerful. They got the truck that those men died in. They got the bus that Rosa Parks was sitting on when she got pulled out of there. They got the slave Bible in there. They got everything you ever want to know about the civil rights movement in the museum at the Lorraine Motel, Memphis, Tennessee. If you got a little money, you live in Chicago, anywhere else in the country, drive over there for the weekend. Take your kids to see exactly what this man was involved in. Back to his last speech. His last speech at the church in Memphis, Tennessee was the most powerful speech he gave. Because Martin didn't have a dream, he had a vision. He said, I may not get there with you. He said, we're going to go through some hard times, but we as a people will get to the promised land. That's almost identical to what Moses told Aaron and his brothers and the rest of the children of Israel, that I may not get there with you, but I've taken you to the place where you can cross over. And I know that it seems like a long time. I was born February 1968, 4 months before Martin was killed, 2 months before Martin Luther King was killed. This whole situation with Martin and the civil rights movement is the only reason that we are standing here in any kind of prosperity today as black people. There's a lot of folks that died. A lot of folks that died. People that died and never made the news. The reporters that came down to Mississippi, they made a whole movie about it, Mississippi Burning. Everybody that had something to do with the civil rights movement in any fashion, so many of them that got killed, so many of them came up missing.
Brother, be red, real quick. Be red. I want to say something. The brother said something earlier. Said can't be no revolution without no bloodshed. It was some bloodshed. Believe me, it was some bloodshed. Go ahead. You just told it. Go ahead.
Yeah, he left a whole lot of that out.
Okay, go ahead,
because
brother.
there were a lot of children that came up missing.
Mm-hmm.
He forgot about the things in Atlanta. The 30 kids came up missing just 10 years after Martin had died.
You say I forgot about it?
You didn't mention it, but I'm not going to get into it with you, brother. I didn't say nothing when you was talking, so I'm asking for the same respect. What I'm saying is we're going to go in chronological order. Right when Martin found out that they were drafting blacks into the Vietnam War, which he disagreed with, is when he said, I have led my people into a burning. Right after that. Because he was talking to LBJ, and LBJ tricked him. LBJ took what he was trying to do and used it to the Democrats' advantage. I'm going to say it just like that. He said, oh, after we do this, they'll be voting for us for 100 years. That came out of his mouth. And that's exactly what we've been doing. Not only was it the Vietnam War, they brought all them kids back from the Vietnam War who did make it back to society. They had no jobs. You remember the movie with Troy, the boy who was robbing banks after he got back to Vietnam, he couldn't get a job. Dead presidents. It was just like that. These brothers came back from the war, they couldn't get no jobs. Some of them came back with them heroin addictions. This is before Reagan even thought about running for president. Then when Reagan ran for president, not only did he amnestize 10 million illegals, then he started selling crack cocaine. This is the perfect storm for the destruction of the people. I'm going to take away their jobs, then I'm going to get them addicted to this right here. And it did exactly what Reagan knew it would do, destroy our community. All this stuff is by design. I'm not arguing with you. We said you was right, brother. Take the win. Don't take the W and turn it into an L. You won.
No, but you said I didn't mention the genocide. You said I didn't mention genocide.
Hey, brother, we're going in order. One mic.
What I'm giving you is
No. Hey, be real. Don't even address him.
Yes,
keep
sir.
talking, brother. Go keep talking. Go ahead. Keep talking.
What I have given you is the chronological order of the civil rights movement. If you ever listen to Martin did what we all do. White boy got it on paper. This is what you must do under the Constitution. If you listen to a lot of stuff he said, under the Constitution, under the civil rights, he was all about the Constitution because that's what the white boy had put on paper. And he couldn't deny it. He couldn't walk away from it. He did it the right way. When Malcolm went to Mecca and came back, he figured out that he had done it the wrong way. No,
he didn't.
We should have done like this. Oh, that is exactly the truth.
That is not true. That is not true.
That is exactly the truth. He stopped talking about fighting and violence because he said he went over there and he saw white Muslims. See, he had never seen that before.
But that's what the media tells you. He went over there.
Brother, I read the book by Alex Haley and I saw the goddamn movie. Excuse me, sir.
Okay.
Please stop interrupting me.
Right.
Please. Please stop interrupting me. Can you do that?
Yeah, I muted him. Go ahead.
When Malcolm went over to Mecca and came back, his mind had changed. He was wanting to work with Martin on doing some things differently. Main thing about the Nation of Islam, not to get off of Martin, but the main thing of the Nation of Islam was self. We need to have our own land. We need to do for ourselves. Even Farrakhan will tell you that right now. Malcolm was talking about the burning, get us out of this burning house. You got a bomb and your house is going to explode. Bro, they were more about self-preservation and self-control and self-governance than Martin was about civil rights and the federal government doing what they were supposed to do as it relates to us being citizens born here. Martin was one of the greatest people ever born on the planet Earth. Can you imagine how hard it was for him to walk down through streets in Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, with no bulletproof vest on, with no fruits of Islam in front of him to take them bullets? They caught him slipping at the hotel. That's the only reason he's dead today. He walked out there in something he normally would never do. He moved in the evening. But here he is out there in the middle of the day. So today is a day of freedom. This is freedom's birthday and holiday. And Martin, I'll turn the show back over to you, brother.
Thank you. We're going to the next caller, Marcus. Go ahead, Marcus. Go ahead, Marcus.
Okay, Martin. You know, I'm a young cat when it comes to Martin Luther King, but my mother taught me about King, and I read about Martin Luther King, and till this day, his words inspire me. Martin Luther King was one of the greatest civil rights leaders to me that ever lived. He didn't do it. He didn't do it for no fame or fortune. He did it because he knew that the future that was coming wasn't going to take what was coming at them. Martin Luther King was a prophet. He was a prophet that was sent into our community to speak on our behalf. And in my opinion, I hate it when Black people try to demonize this man by saying, I've heard some Black people say that he was not on this show, but some that I've talked to have said that he was a communist, that he was a plant. I don't believe any of that. Martin Luther King did something that most of us don't even have the guts to stand up and do today. And he used his head. He knew that we didn't have a military. He knew that we didn't have the bombs of mass destruction. And he knew that if we had went out there and fought them violently, they would have met us with extra violence that would have probably wiped out us. So Dr. King used his head. He used a nonviolent method. And in that process, I believe one of your callers said it earlier, he exposed the reality of the hatred that white people had for us in this country and still have today for us in this country. And I think that the LGBTQ and all these other movements that try to use the civil rights movement as a means to justify their movement is a mockery. It's a mockery to and an insult to Black people who were marching for civil rights, for the right to exist, for the right to drink water, for the right to sit at the same diner, for the right to just be an American citizen. That's an insult to us. And then they want to say that we're not standing up fighting for them. There were immigrants in this country during the time Black people were being lynched by the thousands. Where were they? They were a part of the lynch mob. Where were they? Martin Luther King inspired me to be who I am today by just reading. There are moments in my life when I want to quit on what I'm doing. And I think about something Martin Luther King said. It's not just what he said was about civil rights. It's about everyday living, if you listen to him. Because at the end of the day, he was a minister. And he used it. He used it to break down barriers. And we got to admit as Black people that Martin Luther King, he didn't do it by himself. He did it with the help of a whole lot of other civil rights activists that don't get the credit that they deserve. But he did it. He was the one who was in the forefront, who took the hits. And I'm not saying Malcolm X didn't do it either. And history shows us that him and Malcolm X was about to team up. And the white supremacists couldn't have it. There's a lot that I can say about Dr. Martin Luther King, but I don't have enough time on your show to say it. Mm-hmm. All I'm going to say is that Black people need to quit putting him down and give him his respect that he deserves. Because it took them 15 years to make this a national holiday. It didn't become a national holiday until 1983. 15 years. Think about that.
Mm-hmm. Right. What I didn't hear anyone mention on here, do anybody know that Martin Luther King wasn't his name? He changed his name. Did anybody know? Are you guys aware of that about Martin Luther King?
It was Michael.
Yes. Okay. I just wanted.
It was Michael.
Right. Just want to know if any of you guys are aware of that. Now we know Martin Luther King wasn't a perfect man. There's some allegations out there, but his work, brother, and so his work he put out there, and we're still benefiting from some of the fruits of his labor and the civil rights movement. I don't want to just say Martin Luther King did it all by himself, not at all. But done a great work, and we have to respect that. He used a non-violent tactic, a way of bringing things out. You know, it was just, as I said earlier, it was for economic justice, fair housing, education, and peace. And he was insisting that freedom required more than legal rights, you know? So that Martin Luther King, he worked his number. He really worked his number. He showed the whole world how brutal, how psychopath white America is toward black Americans. He showed us. So if there's any immigrants that's listening to us today, we fought this fight. And we're still fighting right there today in 2026. It's more disguised now. It's more disguised, but it's still here. The brother said it earlier. They planted guns in our community. They planted drugs in our community. They allow the companies, the big companies and corporations to pack up and go to another country. So everything was against us. And they are our real enemies. Kill, steal, and destroy. Those are three things of what enemies do. They kill markets, they steal, and they destroy. Anybody that's stealing from you is your enemy. Anybody that's trying to kill you is your enemy. Anybody that's trying to destroy what you're building is your enemy. Period. That's your enemy. Period. All right. We're gonna open it back up. I'm gonna open it back up. 214 over here at the top. The therapist, I know he wanted to say something, so I'm opening it back up for him to talk. Okay, 214, Mr. Therapist. Go ahead.
You got your pen and paper, Brother Martin?
No, I got it recorded, though. Everything is being recorded. Go ahead.
Okay.
Everything is being recorded.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Luther King strategy was integration. The brothers spoke very well. Both those brothers spoke very well, but I have to correct them on something. They said that.
Okay, before you go,
there's prosperity.
Hold it. Before you go,
Uh-huh.
Yes,
sir.
He wasn't just integration only. Remember, I just read it wasn't integration. It was economic justice and fair housing, and education too as well. So it wasn't just integration, though.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
But his methodology for accomplishing those are ends. The means was to integrate, and his theory was integration. If we let these white folks beat us upside the head enough, they'll soften up and give us these things. But that strategy,
I don't know about
that strategy.
You know, well, I don't think so.
His number one philosophy. was not fair housing, and it's not public accommodation.
Okay, well, listen.
His number one strategy. His number one strategy was nonviolent.
Okay. Now, thank you. I'd rather for you to say that way. Now, integration back then, and Marcus will tell you, the last caller, everybody didn't want to integrate with white folks. You know, everybody wasn't for that nonviolence. Especially the Muslims, they wasn't for that. You know, they was due for self. That's what they was on. Everybody wasn't on for that nonviolent stuff.
Right.
You know, everybody. A lot of people wasn't on that with Martin Luther King.
But what happened was white people chose the nonviolent way and used that as a tool to destroy the black community.
Yes.
You see, the brothers talked about how people could move out in the suburbs and the white neighborhoods and get these jobs and opportunities. Okay, you're in Chicago. 60% of the young men up there are unemployed. There's no economic prosperity for blacks. We've lost our economic prosperity comes from having your own community. You don't to prove what I said. How many Chinese do you see working at Walmart? You don't. Why? Because they have Chinatown in America, and they employ their own people in their own businesses. Integration is like I said, the strategies of Martin Luther King, he admitted himself, it was a massive failure that's led to our destruction. Now, Martin Luther King said, the integration strategy of Martin Luther King is unite with America, go into America. I have a dream that little black boys would be holding hands with little white girls. Okay, how did that work out for Tiger Woods? It didn't. How did that work out for O.J. Simpson? It didn't. Mixed relationships are a failure that comes from integration. Integration means the integration strategy of Martin Luther King, nonviolent integration strategy of Martin Luther King is to go into America, go into America. Okay. I think there's a guy that knows better than Martin Luther King and all of us put together, and his name is God. And when we turn to Revelation 18:5, God's strategy he said, come out of her, my people, come out of her, my people, and reject her ways and receive none of her plagues. But we've received the plague of crack. We've received the plague of AIDS. Whites used the integration strategy. In 1969, Congress asked for a virus that would destroy Black people. And the World Health Organization was given $10 million by Congress to cook up what we now know as AIDS. And they cooked up crack cocaine, and these things have destroyed our community. God said, come out of America. And Martin Luther King said, go into America.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I got a new call. I'm sorry. I was talking to my sister. Okay. Come on, Buck. Buck. Go ahead, Buck.
Greetings, all. Greetings.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, today is a blessed day. Dr. King is a man that sacrificed everything he had, his family, his life, to try to, whatever, regardless of what the people think about him, he gave everything he had. Your life is all you got in this world. And he sacrificed that for whatever reason. He was determined to try to make a difference in the world, whatever it was. It started out with just trying to help people, like even the fight with the garbage for the garbage men in Memphis, where he went down there to try to get them fairness done for them. Dealing with a white supremacy system, all of the laws and all the stuff is built up against us. He fought against all odds, even to a point where a lot of the leadership thought he was crazy at that time. I was there the day he got killed in '68. And we let us out of school early because of that happened. They figured it was going to be riots and everything in Chicago. So you look at where we was that was like our messiah in a way, because we didn't have no hope in our Black community. At that time, we looking at in Chicago and other places around the world, in America, the oppression for Black, you could only do so much. You could only live certain places. And because of Dr. King, every Michael Jordan, every Caleb Williams, every actor, anybody that's got some name and stature and income, and any Boule type person, they are there because of his sacrifice. The white man went down to give Bud an inch to let us live anywhere before that time. You couldn't live over in Mount Greenwood and other areas and stuff, and Black people could live anywhere. They could live in Orland Park and all over the city. So the difference of what they say and what's real, it starts off with the Statue of Liberty. When the original Statue of Liberty was built, it was supposed to be a Black woman with chains on her feet and chains on her hand. The white people in America would not have that. When Dr. King spoke up for our people, there's certain things they wasn't going to allow. Integration was some of that, but the key is he wanted equal protection under the law. We were getting beaten, lynched, and everything, and nobody would even look into it. We'd blow up a bunch of children in the church, and nobody said nothing about it. So we're looking at a situation where our Black people was always undervalued. Like the brother said, the Vietnam brothers getting killed over there for a so-called thing when they talk about liberty and justice in America. I'll make it very clear to us as Black people. We have liberty and we have freedom. We don't get no justice here. That's already been took care of. The white man ain't gonna give us no justice. We have liberty to live and do whatever we want in this country and around the world, and we have freedom to do a certain amount of things. You could marry a white woman and live with the white folks, whatever. But the key is the money thing is what they turned everything around. When it's similar to the Negro Leagues of baseball. Well, we had all things. Black people was okay. Then they had Jackie Robinson integrated. Then they all went to the National League, and everybody, we had more black players in our own league. With Dr. King, the good he did also changed our diaspora because our old businesses died because of that. Because everybody wanted to go to the white hotels, to the white restaurants, and the white stuff. So it was great that he did that, but black businesses, people, we think at that point, everything good was at the white people. We were so deprived from being there, we wanted to rush into these white places. And unfortunately, we still doing that today. But regardless of all that, Dr. King is one of my heroes. And I would say this lastly, I saw a clip with him and Muhammad Ali talking before he got killed. And Muhammad Ali and them went in the back room and talked. And the white reporter said, "Oh, what did y'all talk about?" And Dr. King and Muhammad both said, "Well, nothing really you need to know about." So that's something we need to start off today. We shouldn't be fighting each other over the same assignment. We should be coordinated and organized and unified. Because whatever we say to ourselves and among each other should be about us in a positive way of building instead of destroying us. We are so much about hatred and anger about what we're dealing with as black men in America. We don't even show the love to each other to build each other up. And when that time and during Black Power in the 60s, and Dr. King and Muhammad Ali, of course, fought for everything. And, you know, he was a symbol for me as a young man with Muhammad Ali and fought for everything. He wouldn't go to Vietnam, and he would talk about white people, and he would not submit to them. So Dr. King was the same way. So we need more brothers like that in 2026 that we can stand up for what we believe in, and they'll let nobody get in your mind and tell you what you should think. Believe what you are and who you are, and God first. God bless everybody.
And I want to remind people of Dr. Martin Luther King. His leadership helped bring the Civil Rights Act of 1964. His leadership helped bring the Voting Rights Act of 1965. So he left an impact here. Now, did he do everything probably right? But at that time that he was trying to integrate, it may have been the right thing at that time, day and time. But we seen what happened, the results by us integrating what had happened. With all the businesses left our communities, all that. We had everything. We didn't have to go downtown for anything. We had everything in our own communities. And the brother said it early, without community people, we're lost. We're lost. Every ethnicity group have a community, and we have to get back to community. We're going to have to gain control over our community. Well, you said, well, Martin, I'm not going to live around all that shooting and fighting and gang banging. I'm not either. I don't want to do it either. But something has to be done. We have to start policing our own community. We can't just let these crazy folks run us out of our community. And that's what happened. Now, think about it, people. If Inglewood is so bad, North Lawndale is so bad, South Shore, but why is it that all these big white corporations trying to buy this property up? Why would they want to invest money in a community that they deem that is so bad and so crazy is not right? There's got to be a conspiracy or something going on. There's something. Why would somebody want to invest their money in a failing community? Think about it. Just really take a think about it. You got a community full of vacant lots, drug infested, prostitution, gang banging, burglary, domestic violence, failing schools, but they're willing to invest their money into communities such as these that I named. That's what they're willing to do. So some got
They're
to
be. They're not.
No,
they're not investing, brother. They're taking it.
Okay, well, yeah, they're investing it too because they're buying and they rebuilding too, gentrification too. You go at Woodlawn, they build
and moving the black people out. And using the jab to put us in the ground, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. So this is what they're doing. See, they'll say, "Hey, we're not racist. Look, if you can afford $3,000 a month for rent, you can live here too." You know, That's a way of pushing you out through economics, financial. They know you can't afford $3,000 a month for rent. Then another way they do it is, well, you got to make 3 times the rent. So they got their way of doing things. They're getting us out.
Economic racism, Brother Martin.
Right. That's right. And
all those problems come from integration, because when we had our own communities, those problems did not exist. We looked out for our own. We took care of our own. And the brother said earlier that black towns, they had white people ran highways through them. They even put lakes over black towns. We used to have 250 black towns in America. 250. And they've been wiped out. And integration is what has led the way. The mafia says it best. Keep your friends close and your enemies what? Closer. So you can slit their throat or blow their brains out better. And that's what's happened to Black America.
Okay. Hold it right
there. We don't. You said Dr. Claude Anderson. Dr. Claude Anderson said we no longer have black communities anymore.
Of course.
Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. We no longer have black families. We don't have black families. What we have, what we think we have, should be called survival units, not families. We've been destroyed, and they brought in the immigrants. These immigrants have replaced us. We've already been replaced.
I slightly hold on, Marcus. I slightly disagree with you. We still do have families. There are husband and wives that still do exist. May be small in the number, but that is considered a family.
1 in a million.
Yeah, but not in 1 in a million.
1 in a million.
It's not rare, But Marcus, come on.
90%.
Yeah. Okay.
90%
Hold it.
single
Come
mom
on, Marcus. Come on, Marcus.
Yes,
Then we'll come to you, Sarge, next.
Yes,
Go ahead, Marcus. Go ahead.
Martin, it sounds like to me, and I'm not attacking anybody, but he's not the only one that thinks like this. It sounds like to me that some black people feel that integration was the worst thing that ever happened to black people. I don't think Martin Luther King wanted to drink the white folks' Kool-Aid that bad. I think what Martin Luther King wanted, and a lot of other people wanted, was when they left out of their community, they wanted to be respected as citizens of this country and not have to worry about being lynched because they were thirsty of drinking some water. Let me just tell you this short story. I'm going to make it plain and make it simple. My mother was 5 years old in Tunica, Mississippi, waiting on her father to come out of this courthouse because these black folks had to take a shot in their back of some sort. And she was thirsty. And a 5-year-old little girl saw water. She got out that hot car and went to go get a drink of water. She wasn't thinking about no white or colored water fountain. And this big burly white chef walks up to her and puts a revolver to her head and called her the N-word. You little N girl, can't you read? So I don't think that integration was the worst thing that ever happened to black people. I think that black people made a choice and not patronize their own business. We can still do a reversal of that and start patronizing our businesses in our community, like our black media, like our black filmmakers, like our black restaurant owners, instead of giving them a hard time when they make a simple mistake. We can still change that. But we deserve to be treated like citizens. And what I'm getting is that some black people are mad that we were integrated. I don't think that's what completely destroyed our community. I think what destroyed our community is that we also got a sniff of freedom, and some of us thought that we could sit with the white people and be white and left our community and then down talked our community. Because like you said, there's some great people in Inglewood. Like you just said, Martin, it's still black families around. I'm a product of a black family. It's still black families around, and they still going strong. It's just not being reported on. And I yield the mic to the next caller.
Sergeant. Come on, Sergeant. 912.
What's going on, my man? I just happened to tune on in, and I was looking at everything, or listening to everything, that is, and like to try and purchase everything as an Inglewood is to do a reverse of white flight. That's what I think. Because when you got the jobs and everything that are paying that are right downtown, who wants to doggone spend all that time driving, going to work? You see what I'm saying?
Sarge, we talking about Martin Luther King. I even know I know, but let's talk about King, brother. Talk about King. That's what we're talking. Okay. Yeah.
Martin Luther King was somebody who was just talking about Inglewood being gentrified.
I was talking about that, but that's not what we. I don't want to make that. I don't. Okay. Well, you need to stand down until you figure, or you can read what the screen says. That what Martin Luther King meant to Black America. So you can tell me what Martin Luther King meant to Black America.
Okay. Well, what Martin Luther King, I think I can speak on that. That's simple.
Okay.
What Martin Luther King meant to Black people. Okay. What he meant to Black people was the doggone religious base of Black America, okay, in conjunction with the talented 10th, the boule, and all of that, how Black America could excel within America by integrating within and change the system from within, which is the total opposite of Malcolm X. That's a whole other show. Now, people think that he got assassinated because of all of his talk on integration and equalization within Black America and white America. No, he spoke against the Vietnam War. That's the reason he got smoked. But, he meant greatness to Black America, just like Malcolm X meant greatness, just like Muhammad Ali meant greatness. There's a whole lot of great people, Huey P. Newton, Fred Hampton, many that meant greatness to Black America. But the thing about Martin Luther King is he was the safe one. Because see, if the White House, they had two choices between the two, and it's a good thing they had Malcolm X. It's like, okay, well, Malcolm X is talking about really getting down, but Martin Luther King is talking about nonviolence. So we're going to give him what he wants. So we ain't got to deal with this other fellow over here that's talking about picking up rifles.
Has joined.
See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much it. He's great, just like a slew load of others that are great, and they need to have their day of celebration too.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't. But
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Next call.
A lot of greatness out here to be had.
That's so. That's cool. Tell the truth, shame the devil. 0295. Come on, next caller. 0295.
Hey, how you doing, brother Mark? This is Brother Tennessee. I'm going to disagree. Sorry, I think integration did hurt us. We can look at today in my neighborhood. When integration happens, what happens? We lose jobs in our own community. Integration has really given to us by the Democratic Party. Integration is gentrification of us as a collective, which softens our political power. We're a time in the game where most of all activities has stopped. So what's going on?
Hey, brother 10 Speed. Brother 10 Speed, take me off speakerphone. Yeah, you got me. Are you too far away from the phone?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. I think it really hurt us because it's hurting us right now. The thought that sometimes we think that we overcome a lot of disparities when we actually around people of other races. And I think that that's the problem. Once we get around, like for instance, if I left the West Side and went somewhere up north with a bunch of white folks and still have the same economic, growth in my pockets, whatever like that, I'm supposed to feel like I made it because I'm around other people that don't look like me. So it's more of a mind thing. So gentrification is integration. And this is what really has hurting us here in Chicago. And we can see the evidence of it now. So like you said, when King marched for integration, but he also said too, I felt like I brought people into a burning building, a burning house. He realized that that's not going to happen. And once we realize one thing, white folks are nobody else like us. We have had communities in the 1930s, 1920s that were very powerful when we were by ourselves. So integration did hurt us. And guess what? It's going to hurt us 5 years from now once the Democrats take completely control of the Black community here in Chicago. And we're going to see what Black Power is going to do for us after the next 5 years. Thank you, Brother Martin.
Thank you. Okay, next call is 07. Hold on. Go ahead, Bill, real quick,
Mark,
real
can
quick.
I speak after the next caller?
Yeah, I'll let you speak out the next caller.
Go ahead. Get to
Okay, 0708. Come on, young blood.
What's going on, Mark?
What's going on?
Once again, as I'm analyzing this as the younger generation, once again, we got duped by the feel good, talk good preacher. And they still doing it again today. I think they use him. He's a good preacher, a good talking preacher. He rallied the people, and he rallied us to the burning building. That's what I think happened. Why do you think Kamala Harris and Brandon Johnson doing the whole Martin Luther King press conference? They're rallying the people again with the feel good preacher.
Okay.
That's how I analyze it.
Okay. Can I ask
Thank you,
you?
Martin.
Yeah, quick question before you go, young sir.
Yeah.
Did King do anything that benefited the Black Americans? Did he do anything outside of senators to a burning bush? Did he do any other accomplishments?
From when I listened to on his live, yes. From what you guys educated me on, yes. But what's the percentage? Is it more good or more bad? They give us 10% good, but then the 90% is bad. But all we do is praise the 10%.
Okay, well,
worship the 10%.
well, do you know about? We wasn't able to vote, but we did have a civil rights voting act. We had a voting act. We had the Civil Rights Act, the Fair Housing Bill. So I mean, it was a lot of things. Listen, let me just say this.
Right?
Let me just say this. It's because you want to be a police officer. It's because of the civil rights movement allow you to be a police officer. Because at that time, if you was a police officer, they didn't even let police officers have weapons. You couldn't arrest a white person. So you want to be a police officer, you better thank Martin Luther King and the civil rights movement too. You really better thank them. I'm just telling you. That's something you had told me.
Without worshiping.
No, it's not worship.
I can thank him without worshiping.
No, the scripture said, "Give honor to whom honor is due." If the man put down the work, you got to give it to him. The Bible said, "One plant, one water, and God gives the increase." You're not worshiping. We don't worship no man at all, but we give him honor for what he do.
Sometimes that's what it sounds like.
Well, the scripture said. Well, this is what the scripture said: "Honor thy mother and father, that thy days on earth might be long." Scripture tells us to honor our parents. Yes. So I'm saying this to you, my brother. We can't completely discard Martin Luther King for all the work he's done. I'm not going to sit up and let you do that. I know you're young, but you got to get down there and know it for yourself.
Discard him, but we can't completely worship him either, though.
No, we're not worshiping him.
We can't do either.
But he's a leader. He was once a leader, and he sacrificed himself. Do you know what sacrifice is? If Martin Luther King had been living right now today, okay, hold on. But the sacrifice had to happen. We all have to sacrifice things. If you want some change, you got to make a sacrifice. Period. Anything in life, you have to make a sacrifice. You see people right now that's riding on the bus right now, and maybe another year later, they're driving a brand new car. They made a sacrifice to get on the bus to save their money. Life is full of sacrifices. Fortune, you one of the youngest ones. You didn't go out there and pick up drugs, sell guns, and gang bang. You sacrifice not doing those things. You looked at the way it took other people, what route it took them, jailed and getting on drugs. You didn't do that. You didn't do that. So you made a sacrifice not to do wrong. You made a decision, a righteous, accountable decision. Hey, Martin, I'm not going to get involved in no drugs. I'm not going to get involved in the gangs. I'm not going to go out here and have baby out of wedlock. You made that sacrifice, and that's good. Yeah. You made that. So I'm just, look at it. Everything come with a price, brother. This brother sacrificed his life. If Martin Luther King would have been living today, he'd be 80-some years old. Maybe he'd have his great-great-grandchildren sitting on his lap right now. But guess what? He went out and fought for others, which he didn't have to do. Now, was he a perfect man? I'll say no. No. I'll say no. Could I find flaw in Martin Luther King? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. So I'm
Can I
saying,
mention one more thing, Martin?
go ahead, sir.
About the crate of guns and the crate of drugs. Okay, the enemy put something in our neighborhood. Why do we pick it up and turn it on each other? I just can't get past that.
Did you pick some up?
I can't get past it.
Did you pick some up?
No, but majority of the black community
now, ain't no majority, brother. No, brother. No, you don't have that percentage. I told you maybe a month ago or a little more, there are more black people that are in college than are in jail. Okay? Remember that, brother. Don't get swept away with the propaganda. You got to pick up and you got to read for yourself, brother. If you're looking at the news,
the younger generation analyzing
listen.
All we say is the white man put it there.
No, brother. Did you hear what I just said? Did you hear?
Yes, sir.
What did I just say? Tell me, what did I just say? I want to know if you heard.
Don't get sucked in by the propaganda.
Right. And what else?
Majority was in college, but what does the college degree do?
No. But what does that mean? Come on now, listen, what does that mean? That means that you're doing something, you're productive. When you see a person that goes to college, that means they have made a commitment. Yeah. They have made a commitment to go educate themselves. That's what that means. They could be doing a lot of other things. I'm gonna let you go next, Bill. That's what that means. But hold on, brother. We're not talking about people. Stick with the subject. I'm trying to work with you.
Okay, black people got degrees, but they all not doing the right thing with the
brother.
Degree.
Okay, how many people? Okay, how many people? How many people? Now, first of all, you went from all black people out there shooting, picking up guns, brother. I don't know where you're getting your information from.
I didn't say all.
No. But I don't know what you're saying. The majority. Listen.
All I'm saying is when the crate got to our neighborhood, why did we turn on each other?
Right. Well, you didn't do it. You didn't. Did you shoot somebody? Did you pick up one of them guns and shoot somebody in the back and face? Did you do that? Did you do that?
I'm not talking about me.
No, I'm asking you. I'm saying use yourself as an example so that you can't listen.
No, I did not.
I didn't do it either. So I'm one of those that didn't do it. You're one of those that didn't do it when I was young. Some of them did. Not all of us. Not all of us. Marcus,
but a lot did.
Here's a man on here right now have never been locked up for nothing. Never been inside the police station.
Yeah, most on this panel, we're good citizens.
There's a lot
of us didn't.
But there's a lot of good citizens that's not on this panel. I'm not gonna let you talk. I got a son that's 20-some years old. That's a sheriff, a correction officer, college educated. Now he could have chosen to be in this gang or did do this and do that, but is he perfect? No. But he got himself together, his priorities together. Now, he's not a perfect kid. He's an adult right now, but he's productive. I don't have to worry about him shooting you. I don't have to worry about him carjacking you. I don't have to worry about him scamming you. If you see him going down a dark alley, but I'm just saying, these are this when you father your child, when you be a good parent and you pour off into him, but you still can do the right thing by your children, but they still have to go out there and make the decision for themselves. But let me go to the next call. Come on, Bill. I spent enough time on that. Come on, Bill. Thank you.
Yeah. I wanted to bring up the fact of integration happens on more than just one level. You got integration in marriage, integration in living situations. There's different levels of integration, and with us not being there, quote unquote, in getting a direct answer about integration from him, we all can just assume. I assume he meant integrating not with marriage, but integrating in America, being able to integrate if that's what you choose to do. Now, yes, we had thriving communities. As I said, we see what happened to thriving black towns that were buried underwater, burned down. And to this day, in the last 60 years, what has happened in Chicago and most of these Democrat cities, our neighborhoods look like hellholes. Vacant lots, no businesses, and the businesses that's there are owned by foreigners. The only business that we can claim in our neighborhood is the funeral home, and they are successful. But my thing is this: yes, we should have our own communities and build those 63rd Street up, and it should be black owned the way it was. But by design, it got took from us because of white supremacy in the system. And we got to be realistic. We had 63rd Street, Madison and Pulaski, all these different areas that was really was white, but then turned predominantly black. There's only so many jobs that's gonna come out of those. If you get owner cleaners and somebody on the car wash, somebody on the liquor store, whatever, it's only so many businesses. There's only so many people that those businesses are going to be able to employ. First of all, they're going to employ, or they should employ, their family. That's number one. So how many jobs are going to come from that? You're going to have to integrate at some point or start building. We didn't even have a chance to start buying other properties and creating more black towns or businesses in Chicago because of white supremacy. And we see it plain as day. 60 years. I'm 64. I remember like Buck was talking about, I remember the day that Martin Luther King got killed, being in school, seeing the riots after then. And it's been all downhill. And that's by design. We had a few businesses in the 70s, but this was before crack. It was still drugs. It was heroin, and then a little later, cocaine that took those people from those businesses. So it's only so many businesses we're going to have in a community because, like you said, Martin, we really don't own anything. We lucky if we get a chance to own a small business, but we ain't manufacturing and making nothing as a whole. That's the level that we should be at and have been restrained to getting to.
Okay, thank you.
And to that young brother,
go ahead, bro. Go ahead,
young
Bill.
brother, man, he needs some help, man.
Yeah, but hey, Bill, don't, don't address that. We don't want to get off subject. That's cool. Don't address that.
Thank you, Martin.
Yeah,
You're right.
we don't want to address it. Okay, 11:48. Come on, caller. Come on, stick with the subject. Come on.
PCC family.
Hey, fam.
Yeah, I was looking at the. Are you able to hear me? Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Perfect. I was looking at the subject. What did Martin Luther King mean? Miss Black America. I don't know what he means. Black America. I know what he means to me, and I'm not super much of a Martin Luther King type of like. No, I appreciate it, right? I really, really do. I like me a little Malcolm X, me personally, but I do identify with something. They was mad at Moses for setting the people free. Moses. The people end up being mad at Moses for getting them out of Egypt, rescuing them. So it'd be like, okay, let's look at something. We look at where we were at
and shame
and the conditions that we were in. The conditions that we were in, and we mad that a man by the age of 39, he died. So what did you do with what? Traveling across the country. And 40, what man do you know that's doing and pushing as much as Martin Luther King was pushing at them times when they had way less, and we got way more. I wish I could see a Martin Luther King around here today. If that be the case, he should be multiplied 100-fold. But that's not. So I can't take away from nobody's legacy, because that's what that is. What that man meant is nothing but pure legacy. Mind you, I love the book. I love the book the spook who sat by the door. To me, if you understand the spook who sat by the door, not Martin Luther King opened that door. Regardless if it was a burning building, the spook knew how to go in that burning building and find that fire extinguisher. So I think a lot of times we worried about our conditions, but they don't take away from the legacy. To me, when we think about the integration aspect, like the man said, there's multiple dimensions to integration. I can be, because he was. You feel what I'm saying? So I can't go on real estate buildings and sit at tables that I know I'm not supposed to sit in. I'm sitting with architects, I'm sitting with geographical designers, and I know I'm not supposed to be here. No education. Crack cocaine babies. Yeah, I'm not supposed to be in these buildings downtown, but due to integration, due to Martin Luther King legacy, I can. So when I look at myself, I'm not looking at what the legacy didn't do for me or didn't leave for me. I look at how I'm going to take that legacy and improve upon it. How I'm going to be the spook up until it's my time to take what I can, whether it be knowledge, information, insight, and bring it back to the people. And I can do that because I understand what infiltration is. I can do that because I understand what somebody brought us back in, 60s? And I can apply that to today. So if I needed to tap into my Martin Luther King aspect, I can. But if I needed to tap into my Malcolm X, I can. But let's not take away from the point of being able to. Let's not forget redlining. Okay? When we think about redlining, due to the civil rights movement, due to what Martin Luther King did, I can buy a house that's next to a white person. So you can't just say, oh, that hurt us. To be able to live wherever you want to live. Ain't nothing hurting us unless you allowing it to hurt you. But if you're going to build, then build. If you're going to be a victim, then be a victim. But we cannot take away from no man's legacy. In 40 years, he would have been 80-something today. They cut him down at 40. So to me, look at the other 40-year-old brothers and sisters out here in the street. And let's compare progress. Considering we got way more technology, considering we got way more transportation, considering we got way more rights. So I think a lot of times when we're talking on these platforms, we have to talk with an understanding of what we can do because of what they did do, because of what they did. This man died in the street, like what? Or in the hospital bed, whichever way they want to flip it, but he was at 40 years old. Fred Hampton, come on, that's 19 years old. These are what? Young people. And then you come on here and say, oh, well, he heard us, sent us into a burning building. Well, I'll gladly go into that building and I'll gladly search for the fire extinguisher so I can be able to blow this thing out so my people can still come up to this building. What are we talking about? It's got to be a fire extinguisher somewhere up in here.
Solutions.
Why can't, I sent my sister into a burning building. Thank God I was able to be a firefighter then, huh? Why we can't think like that? He sent us into a burning building. Okay, great. Wait, now I'm a firefighter. We can't say that, huh? We can't think that way, huh? I say we can, but it takes courage to be able to say, he did, now I'm a do. Regardless if it was right or it was wrong, he did, so I can do. I know a lot of the Black Fire Brigade out here somewhere. Call them. If you feel like you've been sent into a burning building, call the Black Fire Brigade. They out here too. Or do we still want to keep complaining about what one man didn't do and what he could have did? So that's my piece. Come in peace. I'm gonna step out in love.
Listen,
I'm at work. So I'm keep listening.
Thank you for calling. I know who you are. Thank you for calling. All right, 901. 901, area code. Go ahead, my brother.
How you doing, Martin?
Good.
I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. I'm loving it. I'm loving the graphics, loving where everything is coming and everything like that. I've been checking you out and everything like that.
Appreciate you.
And to the people, Martin and I spoke about this about last year, 2 years ago, and there was a group of us that's looking and also willing to invest in the things that we actually have going on. And one of the things that I want Black men to understand, and Martin and I, we got some more talking to do.
Mm-hmm.
But black men, I want you to hear what that sister just said.
Yes.
She said that she has to go into somebody else's house
Mm-hmm.
and be the spook who sat at the door.
Mm-hmm.
Brothers, I want you to hear the pain that she has in her voice. What is she saying is that black men, you ask us to follow you. You ask us to love you. You ask us to do these things. But you're not leading us to the places where we can fit in that. Now, she has a talent, and that talent needs to be harnessed. Here's a suggestion that Martin and I had. One of the most profound things that Martin actually said, and I've been waiting on him to harp on this a long time, is that understand what Dr. King did for that time. For that time, he dealt with the issues at hand. He left us a space where it was our obligation as black men to fight the economic fight.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that's what we didn't do. And what we don't understand is that America is built on capitalism.
Say it, brother.
This is a money game.
Tell the truth
This
and
is a money
shame
game.
the devil. Mm-hmm.
And Martin and I talked about this, and we tried to bring this to the community and everything. But we spoke about co-op.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine Chicago right now saying that they don't want. Chicago right now is hurting very bad. I hate to say this, but it is too late. It is too late with the property taxes and things of that nature. So the thing about it, as a man, what must I do? I must take an assessment of what's really going on. The burning building in Chicago. Let it burn. The reason I say let it burn is that, look, the taxes are going up and up and up and up and up. It's going to happen. It's already here. Think about it like this right here. Take the equity that you have. Take the value of your homes that you have right now. Let them have it. Cash out right now while the iron is hot. They have USDA loans in these rural communities where infrastructure is already built. It's already built. Hospitals and all the rest of that stuff. Imagine if 20 of the families in Chicago got together, liquidated the assets they have now that they're eventually going to take, pool that money together. Think with a mayor of these rural towns, these black mayors of these rural towns, and said, we have at our disposal $2 million. Partner with a black bank. And they have these programs where these lots and these properties, you can get these things for like $100. Take all those things in that sister so she won't have to be that spook to sit at the door. Those sisters, I'm down south. And a sister would tell you, black women find nothing more sexy than a man in some jeans, cowboy boots, and a cowboy hat and everything that's killed in his land. Booker T. Washington said, cast down your buckets. That means own your land. Own your land. The thing about it is with the food and all the rest of those things, and the poison and all the rest of those things right there, take that money, get acres, build our own, grow our own foods, establish our own business. Don't spend all the money, invest in a barbershop, invest in a mechanic shop, invest in these type of things right here. So the problem was not with Dr. King. He did what he had to do at that time. This fight right now is economics. If you look at all the Ford Motor Companies and the job losses and all the rest of those things that's coming, and the sisters who lost their job, 300,000, understand something very well. Integration got us in positions, indoors, to understand, we understand their system by and by. You got brothers on here and sisters on here who are leaders in their fields, prospective fields,
who attempted to reach out and speak with Martin about some of these things. How about take those talents, those accountants, computers, specialists, and different fields, and pull the resources together and build our own? Because the truth about the matter is, America is dying. The dollar bill is losing face. We're headed towards some very, very, very bleak times. Now is the time. So people are hungry for solutions. Oftentimes when I hear you all talk, I hear the back and forth. I hear the disrespect. I hear the red, the blue, and all the rest of that stuff. It gets tiring.
That's right.
I challenge us to come together and look at some of these co-ops, look at these USDA loans, build our own. They already have infrastructure. They're giving this land away. These houses now are costing $400,000. Computers are taking jobs. There will be no jobs. We have to create our own. And I'll listen.
Oh man, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. I had a brother just sent me some stuff I want to read down there, so bear with me. I'm reading off the list here. He's talking about integration. He said, Martin, here's a list of itemize the specific areas of integration that became legally protected or significantly expanded after these bills were signed. Dining and hospitality, integration of all restaurants, lunch counters, hotels, and motels, Title II of the Act of 1964 Public recreation, integration of public swimming pools, parks, golf courses, and playgrounds. Transportation, complete desegregation of interstate buses, trains, and terminal waiting rooms. Somebody put your phone on mute, please. Put your phone on here, echo. All right. Cultural institutions, SS previously segregated or restricted library, museums, and theaters. K through 12 public schools, the enforcement of desegregation in primary and secondary schools, often through busing and federal oversight. Higher education, full integration into state universities and private colleges, particularly in the South, including access to graduate and professional schools, law, medicine. Faculty and administration, the hiring of Black professors, deans, and administrators in a predominantly white or multi-ethnic institution. Corporate workforce, says integration into white-collar corporate positions, management, and executive leadership, Title VII. Skill, trades and union. Entry into trade unions of plumbers, electricians, steelworkers that had previously excluded Black workers. We talking now, people. I'm sorry, my phone ringing. Let me try to get this down. Okay. Got to stop that. All right. Professional field of government and civil service, mass integration into federal, state, local government jobs, including postal service and social service. All right. Professional fields, access to private practice and firms in law, accounting, architect, and engineer. Residential communities, the legal right to buy or rent any neighborhood regardless of race, Fair Housing Act of 1968. Suburban integration, the movement of Black families from inner cities to previously all white or multi-ethnic suburbs. Financial services, integration into bank systems, including the right way to apply for mortgage and small business loans without redlining. This remained a struggle for years after. Elect office, integrating of city councils, state legislators, and Congress. The first Black representative for the South since Reconstruction were elected in 1972. Judiciary, appointment to federal and state judgeship, including the U.S. Supreme Court. We know Thurgood Marshall, 1967. Law enforcement, integration of local police departments and state highway patrols. We talked about that earlier. Officer courts. While the military desegregated in 1948, the post-1964 era saw integration of high-level officer ranks and elite units, service academics, increased enrollment and graduation from West Point, Annapolis, and the Air Force Academy. Interracial marriage, legalized nationally in 1967. Loving versus Virginia, leading to the integration of families and growth of multiracial household. Healthcare, integration of hospitals, wards, private clinics, nursing homes. Would you like me to focus on integration with specific industry, such as automobile industry or professional sports? So integration wasn't a bad thing after all, people. I'm just telling you. We had to build. We had to build. The brother just said it. My brother 901, he just said it. That listen, that sister had to go into another burning bush because we're not able to build a house for her to come into. The brother is 100% right. We can't deny nothing he said on this platform. And by the way, that was sent to me by one of my brothers.
Hey,
Yeah.
Martin.
Yeah.
Martin.
I thought we had our own bus line.
To add on to what you, the whole list of what you said, that's why I was saying there was levels of integration. And all that you named, you know, me and you for years have spoke on the spook who sat by the door.
Mm-hmm.
Get these jobs. Take these opportunities. That don't mean you have to go marry or sleep with a white woman. That don't mean you have to go move and live by one. But that's your choice. But the integration has been great. You just spoke of all of these avenues and jobs and opportunities that were opened up, even though it was still unfair. But we had some a pathway to enter all of those jobs and banking institutions and all of this that you named. We have to take advantage of those opportunities that was given to us through the civil rights movement and move forward and learn how to navigate with these people that we know don't like us, never did, and don't want us to have anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got to say. Thanks for that list, Martin.
Thank you. No problem. My buddy sent to my cousin Ronnie Johnson sent that to me. Marcus, I'm gonna get to you in a minute. But let me just say this, people. Let me just say this. We have to take what's good for us right now. At that time, integration was great, and it's still good right now today. Because if not, you wouldn't be working at the post office. You wouldn't be able to be a judge. You wouldn't be able to be a lawyer. You wouldn't be able to open up a clinic. You probably wouldn't be a nurse. You probably wouldn't be a homeowner, a property owner. So you got to look at these things. Now, did the enemy put drugs in our community? Yes. Did the enemy put guns in our enemy? Because if we got all these things, that don't mean that we should have went to sleep. That was on us, people. King laid the way. The sister said it when she came on here. The people cried when Moses led them out of the wilderness. They cried. They wanted to look back. Listen, people, we have to do our part. We in 2026. The brother said it. 901 said it. Listen up, people. Let's put our money together. If you know these taxes are going too high, get out of that thing before you lose it. My cousin Ronnie Johnson said the same thing. He said the best thing for black people is if they see they're getting ready to lose their home, get out of it. You snatch your equity, sell it, and run and go build somewhere else. The brother is right. See, everybody want to do their own thing.
Martin, can I?
Hold on, brother. I'll let you talk. Everybody want to do their own thing. See, that's the problem that we're having. Nobody want to work as a group. And that's how they get us, people, because we're separate. Why you think these other groups are moving, advancing? They got help, but they're sticking together. They sticking together. And that's what we got to do. Okay, 214, how low you going to be? I can let you go ahead if you want. Was that 214 want to say something?
Oh, that was 901.
No, go ahead, 901.
Martin,
Go
you
ahead,
know, I've
901.
always
Go ahead.
never met Ron.
Yeah, go ahead, 901. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. I just wanted to give Ronnie Johnson his props because I never spoke with him, but then when we talked, I told you that that's a brilliant man and the ideas that he actually have and everything. I mean, I just want to give him his props on that because if you understand what Martin just read and everything, what he sent to Martin was clear and concise, and these are the things he's talking about building instead of criticizing and all the rest of those things. So I think we have with Martin Johnson, just to say this right here, and this program that he had is very important to our community and everything. It's very important. In 2026, he said he wanted to take the channel in a different direction and everything. And I appreciate what it is that he actually is doing. So I just want to hear some of the thoughts of the things that we discussing right now. What do the callers actually think of the idea of the proposal that I suggested? And I'll listen.
Okay. You put it up there, y'all. Anybody want to respond? Marcus, did you have something to say real quick? I know you called back. Anybody? Brother 901, say it again. Repeat yourself. Repeat yourself about the co-op and all that. Repeat yourself. Throw the question up there again. So
Okay,
go ahead.
What I was saying about the co-op is that there are opportunities right now to understand that the integration into a burning building is actually happening right now. And as Ronnie Johnson stated and everything, Chicago has always been in debt. It was $1 billion in debt before this crisis of the immigrants and everything came along. So that's been a long history of things. If you understand the migration began in the South and went to Chicago because the opportunities were there. And what happened was we sold our land and all the rest of those things. Migration is always happening when there's an economic problem. Those cities, like Chicago, is a dying city. My suggestion is merely this. It is not able to maintain itself and everything, and the business closed downtown Chicago because of the COVID era. And I don't want to get into all that and everything, but my suggestion is to take the value of the house, the equity that you have now before it's too late, because these taxes are going to keep on going up and keep on going up and keep on going up. And they're going to buy them for pennies on the dollar. Take that money there because y'all houses are very expensive. But if you look down south, these properties they have may need some work. It may need some work. But building our own communities, you have these black towns, West Memphis, down in Mississippi, some of those things, South Carolina. I'm saying, imagine if 10 to 20 families did that, follow that economic plan, went to some of these mayors who need tax dollars and negotiate with them. They give away land for $100, $1,000. Imagine with $2 million in the bank, and you go get a loan off that $2 million from a financial institution like the Freedmen's Bank and all the rest of that, and you hold that thing for leverage. And you plan actually with their money, negotiate with the mayors, get a 90% discount on these houses, attract these businesses. We buy that land, we till our land, we start growing our own vegetables. We bring our hairstylists down, we bring our accountants down, we bring our lawyers down, we bring our doctors down. Because understand one thing, integration was good in the sense, whereas we know the system. There's not a profession that black folks is not only in, mastered. And the biggest mistake that they actually made was when they terminated our black sisters on attack. But what the people don't understand is that our sisters being terminated, but they was the one running the whole show. They in human resources, they in management positions, they are team leads, they're the ones who build the infrastructure. They're the ones who built the whole thing. They know this thing like the back of their hand. We don't have to create a new system. We play within the system that's already set.
This is a capitalism game. The problem is, I'm not begging anybody to like me. You don't have to like me. I don't want to be around you. I'd rather be with my people. I don't have no hatred for anybody else. So my question is, what do y'all actually think about what I'm suggesting? And mind you, before you answer, there are people that's actually listening to what you all saying, that's willing to invest. But it depends on what you all are saying, whether or not we can move forward with this. And I'll listen.
All right. All right. Well, the floor is open. It's open because we have every tool, people, every tool. We the lawyers, we the doctors, we the chefs, we the postmen, we the police, we the everything. We everything. We the carpenters, we the plumbers, we the HVACs, we the electricians. I mean, we have every skill that we need to do what we need to do. There's no excuse. The scripture said, one plant, one water, and God gives the increase. Martin Luther King is no longer with us here in the flesh, but he's here with us in the spirit. And Claude Anderson said that we have to have a community, people. A community consists of a hospital, a grocery store, a school, those a bank. We have to build a community, people. We have to build a community. Brother 901, we have a community right now in Harvey. There's a lot of Muslim people. They got a whole little section where they bought off houses and stuff. Their own little community. Now I'm hearing that they want to get behind one of their candidates to run for mayor in Harvey. Muslim. I'm talking about these people covered up and everything. So, yeah. So this is real. This is real. So I'm going to let Be Red might want to comment. I don't want to get off the subject, but I want to thank Ronnie for those. Ronnie sent me another encouragement letter saying that we got all the tools, people. We got all the tools that we need. All we need is just to gel together. I'm telling you, listen, we don't need to be looking at each other's wife. We don't need to be into our business, one another business. Let's do this. Let's do this thing, people. Let's grow. Let's grow. Come on, Be Red.
Hey, bro.
Hey.
The brother 901, my man. You said it much better than I did a month ago. I got scorched on this very subject about playing the economic game. We have no choice. There have been many. I got a lot of partners from Chicago that have moved into my neighborhood. I'm living in a black suburb right now. To see so many brothers that came from Chicago that had been down here 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, and they had the same thing to say, the taxes, the jobs, the crime, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to say something good. As I was watching the game last night and it was showing aerial views and city views of Chicago, where I have yet to see a city as beautiful as that. The waterway going through downtown, absolutely beautiful, man. And I can understand why people don't want to go. And for those who can stay, move to the suburbs, like that man said. For those who can play the game, don't let them take your stuff from you. Don't be like it was out in LA. Don't be under a tent because you waited too long. You end up losing your house. And just sell, take your escrow and your equity and your property and move to a place where you can raise your children without all the stuff that's going on in that particular area at this particular time. Martin Luther King was about civil, respecting our civil rights. All those things that he named, that's why I said it was a good thing. All the stuff that we can do. Now, if Malcolm had lived, we could have put what Malcolm was talking about, what that brother was just saying. Us getting together, buying our own, working with our own, living our own lives separate from, a black America with this side of America. The two ideas wasn't opposed to each other. They wasn't opposite ideas. The ideas were the same. Take up for yourself and be a man And on this side, respect us because the law says you have to respect us. And for no other reason. I'm glad 901 said what he said, bro, because he laid it out perfectly. It is within our power to do all that he said that we can do. The Muslims are doing it. We saw the Vietnamese and the Chinese and the Koreans did it. This can be done. And it can be done successfully.
Be red. Be
and
red.
We can live anywhere we want to live.
Be red. Let me say this. My cousin Ronnie Johnson told me, he said that the Somalians, they came in Minnesota in 1994. They got their own banks, their churches, schools, everything. From right now, from 1994 to this present day right now, they got millions and built a community. They all in political areas. And it took them, what's 1994 to right now, 30 some years? To build a community, a community, brother. And they got a strong 31, yeah.
These people come from they come from a society where they couldn't depend on the government to help them.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have that like we've had. We could always go down there and get something. It may have been much, but we could always kind of go and get something from the main. They didn't have that in their society. You talking about dirt poor? Say, man, some of these folks come from some places where dirt was the floor, and mud was the walls, and straw was the ceiling. This is where some of these people come from. And so when they get here, they don't know no other way to survive but the way that they do it.
But with Mr. B. Red, with all due respect, we're really not concerned about them and where they come from. The question that I have is that what do you think about the idea of which Martin talked about? Because Martin laid it out so vividly when it came down to economics and how we spent all the money and all the rest of those things. Because understand what it is that Martin is actually saying. It is not that we did not have the money. That is not true. We had the money. It was not that we did not have the money. We have the money. Black people do have money, y'all. Trust me. Black people have money. Black people do have credit that's over 800. Those things are meant. Black people do own their homes. Black people do have money that they're willing to invest to improve the community. The question that I have is, are you all interested? Please answer the question. Point blank.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm talking about the other people. I mean, how many people on this line right now? Because I'm hearing a whole lot of silence. And what I talked to Martin about is like, Martin, there's a whole lot of criticism going on your channel. And Martin really is talking about liberation. And every time that he comes on and speaks, it's always, and I'm not trying to be rude, but some of the guests have ran away people who are needed for this movement. So my question is, are you all interested?
I'm in 100%.
Anybody in the comments, if you're in, you'll say I'm in. You know, because we got to take it to the next. I mean, it's time to build, people. All this complaining and all that, it's time to build. It's time to build. It's time to build. And listen, brother, this is what I said too. For black people have, how many $1 trillion worth of spending power? Ain't no lazy people got that type of money at all. So that debunks that myth right there that black people lazy.
Economy in the world.
Yeah. Come on now. Black people got
eighth largest economy in the world.
Got all that $1 trillion in spending power. Come on, people. Man, you can go down 901 and 214. You can go down some of these blocks, man. They got $500,000. I'm talking about in the poorest communities. They got $500,000 worth of automobiles sitting outside. Come on, man. Some of the poorest blocks that you can go in, some of the poorest areas. Go down some of them blocks and count them automobiles. I guarantee it come up to $500,000 or better. Come on now, people, talk to me. I ain't on no pyramid scheme. I ain't trying to scheme nobody out of no money. We talking about doing this together, professionally. Real talk. The brother put the plea out there. He been saying it. He put it out there. Some of us ain't got no money, but we got an 800 credit score. Some of us don't have good credit. Some of us don't have good credit, but we got a bankroll.
Got a skill.
Yeah.
That's money, Martin. That's money.
That's right.
800 credit score, that's money.
Yeah.
The thing about it is what you do, you use other people's money.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key to the whole thing. Let me give y'all just a little sense on the things that actually happened. I had a tree fell in the house, and I had the money and everything in order for me to fix it and all the rest of that stuff. But in order for me to keep my credit revolving and all the rest of that, what I did was I went to my credit union, and I went and got a signature loan. We'll say $20,000, right? And you all will be amazed what I will pay back at the end of that loan, 1%. So this is what I did. My repairs cost like $13,000. So this is what I did. I got $20,000, and I paid it off $13,000. You know, got the insurance and all the rest of this stuff on the house. And basically, what I do is I take the $7,000 and I pay them back their own money. So actually, I'm paying them back their own money. Their own money. And it only cost me like $150 to $200 at the end of this loan. And I'm blessed to be in a position where I just put a little extra or something like that, like $1,500 to pay it off and all the rest of that stuff. I can pay it off now. But you see the value in that?
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, I'm paying them back their own money.
Mm-hmm. It's discipline, people. People, we got it. Everything we need is right here. Everything. Black excellence. Now, we don't care if you red or blue. We ain't on that. We on, let's do this. Let's do this. One thing we got in common is this skin color right here. All right. And listen, we know who the enemy is. We don't want to get it confused who the enemy is. I told you 3 things. The enemy come to kill, steal, and destroy. That's what the enemy come to do. That's all. That is his mission. Kill, steal, and destroy. That's what the enemy do. And we have to protect ourselves. Anything, Brother 901, Brother 214, anything that's left unprotected will be taken away. So we have to protect our investment. We have to protect our relationship. We have to protect our automobiles. We have to protect everything. Our land. We have to protect it. It's time to build, people. We good at point now. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Martin. I think we really got our answer to everything like that because I don't hear anything when it comes down to it, and that's what I was afraid of and everything. See, the thing about the situation is, in my humble opinion, I don't think we want freedom. I don't think we really want that. And then you talk about these things that is evident and it's obvious. But the thing about the situation is, and I hate to say this and sound the alarm, but Black people, the storm is already here. Already here. There's it waiting till it's too late, and it's almost too late. After these taxes, they get these taxes and all the rest of those things. Those things will be gone in 2 months. And then there's no saving. If I was in that position that, okay, I'm behind on this, I'm behind on that and everything, I would stop paying. I would take those taxes. And as Martin said, those cars and all the rest of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
See, the real issue is, are you willing to give up those things? If that car is too expensive to purchase now, $1,000 for a car, a brand new car that breaks down on the expressway in 2 months and be set on fire, it's not worth it. Are we willing to give up something? See, the problem is we don't want to give up something. And you have to make those type of sacrifices. If I get another car, my new car, I want the raggediest truck I can find. I want to be like my granddad. We used to laugh at this truck and everything like that. As I become older, I want one. I have 2 Porsches. Two. I was guilty of it. We have to get out of that consumer mindset.
Me too. Me too. I was guilty of it. I'll lay it out there with you, brother. I had $100,000 worth of cars parked in front of my house, bringing home $600 a week. How stupid was that? Just throwing away money. How stupid was that?
Brother, when I was working in corporate America and everything like that, thank God I retired. I had 100 pair of shoes, 100 pair of shoes, dress shoes. And you know what I did? Came in the house and looked at all this stuff, Martin. I cleared all that stuff out.
With dust on them. Don't tell the truth to save the devil. They should look with dust on them.
I love being
I don't feel
black.
bad because you'll do exactly what I'm talking about with dust on it.
With
I
dust
just bought that
on them.
stuff
Don't even
I
worry.
needed. Man, and now I done cleared the whole house out. It needs to be airy because if you look at your area and everything like that, if the house is crowded, that means the mind is crowded. The mind is crowded. Get away from the capitalism. Let's go off to our own. Let's go ahead and grow our own crops and everything. Because the truth about the matter is, and we discussed this the other year, what they're doing in this administration of work, the way the world's going, we're back in the Reconstruction days, like Marcus said almost 2 years ago. So the thing about the situation is, we have to go back to the way we was living before all this capitalism and stuff like that happened. Let them have it. And the thing about it, we talk about the migrants all the time and everything like that. I don't understand why this conversation keep on happening when they already kicking the people out. Let them do what they got to do, and while they fight, we build. And see, that's what Black Americans is. That was the thing that always kept us moving forward. While they fight, we build. When they get foreclosed on, we bought the property. But the problem was this. The problem was we're trying to live in a first world country, the third world economic education and service. This is capitalism.
Yeah. Now,
you don't beg nobody to sit up there and love you and like you and all the rest of those things. If we wanted reparations and all the rest of that, if we had our own tax and had our own thing, and the way Trump doing it now, all thing we had to do is offer that man $200 million like Israel did, and we would have had it because money helps. And I'll be quiet.
Brother, I got to get that's what I got to admit. I stole that from you. Remember, we was arguing back and forth about the migrants coming here and all that. And you made a comment one day and you said, man, y'all just mad because they're getting resources. And I thought about what you said. It didn't stick right away, though, but I caught it. I said, that's what a question. I put up a reel. Black people, what is it that we want? Are we mad at the migrants because they're getting resources? Because when they first came here, everybody welcomed them, leave the people alone. But once we find out that they was getting all that money, oh my God, some of us did a 360. Did a 360. Did a 360.
And the issue is, to be honest with you, if we want to tell the truth and shame the devil, they were not our problems. None of that. I think they were not our problems. Actually, they're not our problems. The thing about the situation is we're trying to beg these people to love us, and they don't even love themselves. They don't even like each other. So the thing about it is, and also biblically it says, make yourself separate. Do not be nothing like him. We didn't have all these things in our community. It's when we start integrating into that mess that we messed up. Follow your own path. They know. Here's the thing. Martin. You go trip when I tell you this right here. We have forgotten who we are. The white people haven't,
and never will.
Well, man, listen.
That's facts.
Go ahead, say your last word, because I'm gonna close us out in a minute. Yeah, but this is a great.
I hadn't heard.
Go, you haven't heard?
I hadn't heard any response. So have you noticed?
I know.
No, I hadn't heard no response to anything like that on what I just asked. So I'll be quiet and I'll call you once again. I'm gonna listen.
Okay, cool. We're gonna end the program. I appreciate all the comments and thoughts and stuff like that. And Black people, we have to do something. No one has come to save us. I always say we are our own solutions. That's what it is. Solutions. We got this money sitting in the bank, collecting dust. It's time to invest. in us. We have to. We have to, people. We complain about this. We complain about that. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What is it that we want? You know, what is it that we want, Black America? Martin Luther King paved the way, and the Civil Rights Movement. Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, Farrakhan, Honorable Marcus Garvey, Drew Ali. All these guys, it's more and more that paved the way. What are we going to do, people? We're going to complain and say they don't like us. They don't like us. Who cares who like who? Let's build, people. Let's build. We should be just like the beehive, Brother 214. When you mess with one bee, the whole hive come after you. And that's how we got to be. Exactly how we got to be. You don't see the Arabs out here begging. You don't see the Asians in Chinatown, Chinese, they ain't out here begging. They putting their money where their mouth is. We the only one waiting on some crumbs to fall from the white man table. Well, you said, well, Martin, they owe us. We know they owe us, and they know they owe us. We can fight 2 fights at a time. We can fight reparation and build at the same time. The brother said it. While they trying to kick the migrants out, we need to be building, making our move. While the enemy is distracted, we need to be making our move. Period. Art of war. All right, people, you already know what it is. You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth. And what? And shame the devil. I love being black. Go in peace. Thank y'all. Make sure y'all share the video. This is definitely a learning thing today. It was definitely learning. I learned something today, and I appreciate Dr. Martin Luther King, the Civil Rights Movement, all the black pioneers that made the pathway easy. You know, I appreciate them, all the inventors and all that, even for those that did something that we don't even know their name, the great inventions and the writing the speeches and the songs and all that. We thank you too. We thank you. Peace out.